Well, I'm doing okay. I'm 45 now, which means I'm either halfway through a healthy life or almost done with a shitty one. I don't know which one. I'm a little bit older than I should be for 45. Like, I shouldn't be breaking down this quickly. Like, sometimes I'll be sitting watching TV, not really doing anything, and all of a sudden I realize, I need to wipe my ass right now. Nothing happened, but I need to go wipe my ass. I need to make a trip to the bathroom just to wipe my ass like 3 times a day. I don't know what that is. That number 1 or 2? I guess it's 1.5. I gotta go. But it seems early, but I'm 45, and already my asshole is just like. My asshole's just tired. My asshole's like the waistband on old pajama bottoms. Loose and ineffectual. My asshole's like a bag of leaves that nobody tied up. It's just sitting on the lawn, all open and puking leaves into the grass. Some kid kicks it over on the way home from middle school. Here's another thing about being my age right now. If my worst part of my whole day is putting on my socks. I hate putting on socks. I hate it. I'm getting dressed and I see the socks on my bed and I'm like, I don't want to do it. I hate it because part of it is because my bums don't really move like they used to, and also it's because look at this shit. This is round. This is not. I have to fold this in half to get my socks on. I have to get the sock to like past my toe. It's a nightmare. And I can feel I'm pushing my fat ball up into all my vital organs and into my lungs. Like as soon as I start, I feel all the systems failing. It's like a race of, can I do this before I'm gonna pass out? I'm gonna pass out. I get on. I can't do the other one for like an hour. I have to wait an hour. And I saw an interview with Michael J. Fox where he was talking about brushing his teeth with Parkinson's. And it's a nightmare. It takes him 2 hours to just get through brushing his teeth with Parkinson's. And I saw this and I thought, that's hard. Now that is hard. And so is putting on my fucking socks. It's still exactly as hard. Sorry, Michael J. Fox, it's still fucking hard to do this. Here's another thing about being my age. If I'm sitting in a chair, right, and somebody tells me I need to get up and go in the other room, I need to be told all the information why first. You gotta explain all that shit to me. What? Why? I'm not gonna get up because I know I don't have to. It's not just because I'm tired, it's because when you get to a certain age you realize you don't have to do anything. People try to make you do shit. We need everyone to come up here and get one of these. And fill it out and give it to Vanessa. And everybody gets up and goes, and there's like 2 or 3 guys like me who are like, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna sit here and all the same shit will happen. Then as if I did it. People try to say stuff to me like, your car's being towed right now. I'm like, well, that's what's gonna happen to me then. I know where the pier is, I don't give a shit. I'll go get it. I don't want to get up because I gotta rock to get momentum. Like I'm trying to get a Chevy out of the snow. Getting old is good though. You get smarter as you get older. You get better at living. As long as you have 2 very important ingredients in your life. Regret and self-hate. You need those. They're very important. They make you a better person. Every time you say, oh, I'm such an idiot, that means you're smarter now than when you did the dumb shit. You need to, regret is important. You gotta go, why did I do that? So you won't do it again. This means you're developing. People who have this fake positive attitude drive me crazy. People just do whatever you want and just leave wreckage for other people. Don't ever regret. As long as I love myself, that's enough. No, it really isn't. That's a really irresponsible low bar. Just set for yourself. If you're older, you're smarter. It just starts to happen, you know? If you're in an argument with somebody and they're older than you should listen to them. Doesn't mean you have to change your mind to what they think. Just make this face and listen to them. Because if you're older, you're smarter. Let me ask you, I'm 45. How many people here by applause are 45 or older? Applaud if you're 45. That's about 16 people out of 2,000. And the thing that's interesting is that there's way more. I can see it. There's really like 1,000. But they didn't clap because they're older and they're smarter. Because they're sitting there going, I'm not gonna clap. Do your show. I'm not gonna clap. Just because you told me to. How many people here are 40 or younger? Applaud if you're 40 or younger. How many people here have cable? Yay! Burn them all. Box and burn them. If you're older, you're smarter. It doesn't matter your education, it's just that you've been around longer. It means you've collected more data. Okay? It doesn't matter who you if a 55-year-old garbage man is 1,000,000 times smarter than a 28-year-old's triple PhD. Especially smarter than this idiot, because he's been thinking about 3 things for like 10 years. He's worthless. The garbage man, he'll tell you some shit. He's seen some shit. He's been around for 55 years. He used to go to the Cape in the summer. He saw a dead guy floating in a motel pool. He took a bus to Montreal. He got a hand job at a fair. Like at a county fair. From a miner. I mean like a coal miner. That's even worse. Dirty in coal miner. Jack him off behind the guess your weight station. That's living. You gotta be around for a while. This guy's 55, he's seen some shit, he's witnessed history. History that you know about because you've seen it on TV, but this guy lived it. I lived history. I saw Nixon resign on live television. Me and these people my age, we watched the President of America cry and then quit being the president. You have no idea how weird that is. These people today, the president's kind of disappointing. Oh, really? Our president wept like an insane person and then got in a helicopter and flew away. And the whole nation just watched him go. And the rest of you know this happened because you saw a joke about it on The Simpsons or whatever, but it's not. And I know young people are what you're thinking. You're getting offended. You're like, well, we have things that happen. We have things that happen over here. So we have that. Yeah, well, we have those too and Nixon. All right? So, you get older, you get A lot of things get better in your life when you get older. For some people, like for me, sexually, this is a better time in my life. 45 is better. Because of the kind of guy I am. This situation is way better at 45. This is not a fun kind of 17-year-old debate. This is not an exciting teenage life. Vaguely heavy with no face. This doesn't do well when you're 18. Yeah, you add some wisdom and some income to this body, it gets better. I'd like to do one of those it gets better ads for dudes like me. Listen, man, I know it's tough right now. You have no value in the sexual marketplace. You feel invisible to the girls at school because you are. But it gets better because you all get older and you keep looking pretty much like this. And they don't. Their options start running the fuck out. They fall from the trees and you can be the branch they grab before they hit the ground. It's just time. You just have to pick any woman and just wait. Just wait until her circumstances match your looks. It's gonna happen. You just have to wait. It's time. There's a formula to this, like pussy plus time over income squared. I don't know exactly. It's better for guys like me later. Some people are better off in their younger years. Young, skinny dudes have the best life. Young, skinny guys have the best life in the world because they just show up. They don't have to do anything. They just kind of show up with their Adam's apple and smelly t-shirt, messy hair. Hey, I'm here for the easy pussy for the rest of my life. Where should I go? Everywhere? Okay, cool. But you learn that, knowledge is your friend, sexually. It really is. You can learn things to give you a better sex life. For guys, one very valuable thing is if you learn to finger a vagina very well. Like, particularly well. If you can finger a vagina well, this will serve you your whole life. This is not a hard thing to learn. All you need is a finger and some empathy. And you have an enormously valuable skill. It serves you when you're younger because it helps you get into the pussy. And when you're older, it helps you to stay out of the pussy. Because when you're young, you don't think it's gonna happen. You're like, I just want to fuck every pussy in the world. But when you get older, you're like, maybe not this particular pussy right now. But I don't want to upset her. I have a solution. Yeah. Everybody has their time. I mean, not everybody. There are people out there who there's just nobody for them, ever. That's the truth. People like to say, there's someone for everyone. Nope. Nope. There's loads of people out there who we've just all decided unanimously they're just light speed ugly. Nobody's gonna touch them. Ever. Nobody touches their dick or pussy one time. It's just, they just wash it. That's it. That's all that happens now. And if you're feeling bad for them, go fuck one of them tomorrow because you can do that anytime you want. With all the kindness in your heart. I don't think so. But everybody's looking for somebody. We all feel alone. Everybody feels alone. Even if you're with somebody, you're alone. That's why a lot of couples break up, because neither of them is okay with being. You need to be okay with being alone in order to be with somebody else properly. This is a weird concept, but it's true. Because when you're alone, you feel this, it's like aloneness. It's like this thing that stays at home, and it's like this monster that eats you and just shits in your mouth every day. So you go out, and you don't want to go home, because the monster's there. It's gonna eat you and shit your mouth. So you stay out, just look for anybody that you can take home with you and feed to your monster. This is an incomplete idea, but I'm working on it. Dating fascinates me because dating is how history starts. It's like how whole races of people are started. It's just a guy seeing a woman in a bar and deciding to talk to her. And he walks up and says something. It's the hardest thing in the world to figure out is the first thing to say to a woman, because you have to say the perfect thing. It has to be just enough. You don't want to scare her, hey, hi, hello. You don't want to just say something just nice, because she'll just walk away. Women do that. You say something to them and they walk away like you didn't say anything. Hey, how you doing? But sometimes you say hello and she says hi back, and then you talk, and then you ask her, you want to go out sometime? And she says yes. That amazes me that any woman ever says yes to a date with a guy. That is crazy. The courage that takes is way beyond me. I would never do it. Men are the biggest threat to women in the entire world. Do you realize that? We cause more pain and mayhem and death on women than anything else. The greatest threat they face is dudes. The biggest threat to men is heart disease. That's our biggest threat is our own stupidity destroying our hearts. It's our own hearts going, dude, you can't just keep doing this shit. I am done. I told you 3 strokes ago that these are bad choices. I am now done with you. But we constantly fuck women up, and yet they still have the courage to go, yeah, I'll go out with you, sure. All I know about you is that you're having really gross thoughts about But yeah, I'll go out with you alone at night. Are you nuts? I'll get in your car with my little shoulders. Where are we going? Are you crazy? I would never do it if I was a woman. I would never go out with a guy. Not one time, hey, you want to go out? No, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. What they do, they go out with us. They keep trying. I like when I see a date. You know when you see a couple, you're like, they're on a date. You can tell it's the first date. It's sweet. They walk together. She's always looking up in his face, trying to figure him out. And the guy is just a mess. The guy on a first date is not a person. He has no actual personality. He's just a spinning wheel of shit he's trying. This kind of guy, no, this guy, this kind of guy. Just like a ransom note cut out of a lot of magazines. Just like a dick in space, just thrusting in infinite directions, trying to pick up a signal somewhere. And she's like, I don't know what this is. And then later in the day, something happens. Something happens with the woman. She gets to decide quietly inside of her, I'm gonna let him fuck me. And you can tell she's already decided. Something he said, she's like, that was pretty good, he's gonna fuck me later. And he has no idea, he's still trying all this shit. I live in New York, I live in a kind of a nice building, and I never lived in a nice place before. I've lived in shitholes my whole life. And I live in kind of a nice building, there's a nice courtyard with a fountain, and I don't go in there. Because I don't look nice. Especially in the daytime, this is me in a spotlight. This is me really trying to put something together. It's a 3-year-old cot. But like the first week I moved into this building, I went down to the courtyard, and because it was Sunday at noon, and I'd been kind of waking up and falling back asleep for a long time, and at some point I was like, oh, let's just do this outside. So I go, and I'm sitting in the courtyard in my sweat shorts, and I just look like shit. I'm just sitting there, and I look across the courtyard, and there's this dude, and he looks really rich. He's got brown shoes. To me, if you have brown shoes, you're rich. Because that means you have 2 pairs. That means you have 2 pairs of shoes. Nobody that has 1 pair of shoes has just brown shoes. Nobody does that. He's standing there in his shoes, and he's looking at me, with all this condo owner concern. He's like, that fella's not good for my investment. And I can tell he thinks that I don't live there. He thinks I just wandered in off the street. And I can tell also that he's thinking of coming over and dealing with me on his own. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, yes, please come over. Please come here and think you can kick me out. Please be rich and wrong right in front of me, please. And sure enough, he starts walking over and I'm like, oh, this is so good, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. He comes over, he says, excuse me, do you live in this building? And I said, no. I didn't know I was going to say it until it came out of my mouth. I just realized this was way more fun. So I said, no. And he goes, well, what are you doing here? And I said, I just need to rest. I've had a hard time. And he says, well, this is private property. And I said, well, I don't choose to believe in that sort of thing. He's like, whoa. And he goes over to the doorman. And then I see him talking about me to the doorman like this. And then I see the doorman go, oh no, that guy lives here. So, and the look on his face was so good. Because he's like having a feeling nobody ever had before. It was amazing. He comes back over to me and he goes, why didn't you tell me that you live in the building? And I said, because I don't have to tell you anything ever. And also, I didn't want to ruin your fun. That's like your favorite thing to do. And also, I make more than you. I just don't give a shit about myself. Anyway, he didn't say anything after that. Because, well, the whole thing didn't really happen.
Go find out.
Here's what really happened. I won't lie to you again. Here's what really happened. Truth is, I really was sitting there, and the guy was looking at me, but then the rest of it I just made up in my head, just angrily fantasizing. He's probably gonna try to kick me out. And I would say like this. I'd say these 3 really cool things right in a row. And of course, he set me up perfectly because I'm him too, so. And then the truth is, he actually came up to me and he said, do you live in the building? And I said, I just moved here. And he goes, oh, welcome, it's nice to have you. He was so nice. He was unbelievably nice. And he's my neighbor, George. I've lived there for a year. He's the greatest guy I ever met. I love him. He's a nice guy. He's generous. He has no money. He lives in a rent-controlled apartment in the building. And he just takes care of himself. He just looks nice. So I was wrong, but I still think about when I looked at him and thought, what a rich prick. And I still think that. Like, I still enjoy, because that's, for me, that's my entertainment. Prejudice is entertainment to me. It's just something that I enjoy. As long as you don't not hire folks, you're not hurting anybody. It's just fun to just decide shit about people you'll never meet. I do it all day. I just stand on the street. Yeah, probably. Like one time I was I was standing at a red light, waiting for a light to change so I could walk. And there's these 2 young women standing next to me. Very cute, blonde, ponytails, very kind of Tennessee kind of girls. Not like Nashville, I mean like tennis. Play tennis. Can I play tennis? That's totally play some tennis. They didn't say any of that, I was just standing there, just, yeah, you probably play tennis. Anyway, so then I was walking across the street and they were walking behind me, and I was trying to walk slow enough to hear what they were saying. I wanted to hear their conversation because they were attractive. So I wanted to hear them. I don't know what I thought I might hear that would be any help to me. Didn't you wish the guy walking in front of us would just squeeze our tits for just 1 second? It's really a character flaw in men that we would do that if you just ask us. If you're a woman, you could go up to any man on the planet Earth and say, would you squeeze my tit for a second? And 100% of us will say, oh yeah, sure, absolutely. We could be doing heart surgery. What? Yeah. Oh, sorry, not your tail, sorry. We love tits. We love tits to a fault. Men love tits more than we are good people. I don't know why we love tits so much. Some people say it's because we breastfeed, but so do women. I mean, you know, baby girls. Often see like a 48-year-old woman breastfeeding from a young woman's tit. That's not a... I mean, I'd like to see that, but you don't often see that. It's old people sucking young tits for milk. It's unusual. It's how The Grapes of Wrath ends. But other than that, I just ruined it for you, but you should have read it by now. But the last paragraph of The Grapes of Wrath, an old dying man sucks milk out of a young woman's tit. And I read it and I was like, Jesus Christ! How did that become the kind of book it is? The last page! There are no other books in that genre. Like, just huge, long classic with 1 page of just weird, specific, porny shit. There's no other book like that. And then Anna Karenina shat on his chest and smeared it on his face. Holy Toledo! That's crazy! Yeah, tits. We love tits. And you always know a tit. You know? Like, you ever been in a crowded place, like on a subway or like in a subway all packed in with people, and back there, like your elbow touches a tit. You're like, that's a tit, I just touched a tit. Oh, that was a tit. It's amazing the sensitivity of the male elbow to tit flesh only, because otherwise you can drive a tack in there, I'm not going to feel it. But through a shirt, a sweater, and a heavy coat, and her coat, sweater, shirt, and bra, somehow, I just touched a tit. I just touched a tit. That's 39 for me. Or whatever, it had to be an even number before that one. Because generally, when you touch a tit, you touch 2. You know, unless it was an accident or you didn't have permission. You usually touch 2 tits. Usually, tit access, when granted, is good for 2 tits. It's rare that you lose, you know, you have to really screw up very quickly and badly to lose tit access between tits 1 and 2. And if it's up to the guy, we're gonna touch both. I don't really know any guy who touches his tit and goes, you know what, I'm all set. We're gonna touch both. Even if there's a sudden and dire emergency, once you're on a tit, yeah. Oh, there's a bomb! Oh shit! I came out of my building this morning. There's this old lady that lives, I don't know where she lives, but she's always in front of my building, walking her dog. I see her every day. You know, the old ladies with the dogs. She's very old. She's got her legs are just a nightmare of black and green swirly patterns. She's got an old dog, and they just stand there together. Her little dog's got a cloudy eye, and she's got a cloudy eye, and they just both stand there looking at the two-dimensional street and just waiting until at some random moment the dog just, Anyway, I see them every day. And every day I think the same thing. I hope that she dies first. And I hope she dies before the dog. Because I don't want her to lose the dog. She's not going to be able to take it. If she dies first, the dog's not going to give a shit. This dog doesn't even know about the old lady. This dog lives in a 3-inch radius around his head in 2-second increments. That's his life, the second he's in and the one he just left. This dog is just misery on a rope. He doesn't give a shit who's holding the other end. But if he dies, this lady's gonna be destroyed. And I know she is because this dog is all she has. And I know he's all she has because she has him. If she had anyone else, she would not keep this shitty little dog. If just some young woman in her building one morning just went, "Good morning, Gladys," she'd be like, "Oh, good," just flush him down the toilet. The dog just keeps hitting the drain. She just ends up shitting on him for the rest of her life. That story got bleak. That got aggressively bleak. You ever flush a pet down the toilet? I had to flush my daughter's fish down the toilet because it was looking at me. Had to get it on, man. He was making a move. It's weird when you flush a fish down the toilet because you plop them in the water, they go down to the bottom of the toilet, and then when you hit the handle, just as the water starts moving, it looks like the fish went, "Wait a second, Jesus! I'm taking a nap! Oh, come on! You gotta be in constant motion and not get flushed down the toilet around here." That's a hard one to explain to your kid when the fish died. Because it's just, come on. When the dog dies, you can have a funeral, really talk about it. But the fish, you just say, "Oh, Daddy, why did my fish die?" Because who gives a shit? That's the real answer. That's the real answer. And that's why your fish died, because it didn't matter that it was alive. But I love Smokey. He didn't even know his name was Smokey. Okay, he didn't love you back. Your fish loved no one. Do you think that sharks would be embarrassed if they knew that we could all totally see their fins sticking out of the top of the water? I think they'd be bummed. Because I don't think sharks are aware of it. I think sharks think they're slick. They swim up like, nobody has any idea there's a shark. And we're all up here like, there's totally a shark right there. You got about 20 minutes to get out of the water, but there is a shark. If you could get a hold of a shark and tell him, "Dude, everybody can see your fins sticking out of the top of the water," he'd be like, "Oh, shit. That blows." Must be stressful to live in a food chain. That's how most animals live. They're just in a food chain that's surrounded by predators. Imagine if we weren't a food chain. I don't think we fully appreciate the fact that we got out of the food chain. That shit was gnarly back then. That was all you really worried about. Whoever got us out of the food chain is a hero. That is better than getting rid of dependence on foreign oil. Like the food chain was way bigger. Because every night you'd go to sleep and somebody might just bite my face tomorrow. And for animals, they're just in the chain. Like that would chain in the human race. Like if there was like 10 levels of people who just ate each other. And you all work and live in the same area. And it would just be another shit thing to deal with. It would just be part of the stress of every day. You know, you're having a bad day already. You burnt toast in the morning. Your teenager was rude to you. And you, whatever, they shut up. And somebody bought your mortgage and changed it. And you're like, fuck. And then you're walking to work like, God, I don't know why, but oh shit. I just ate, I don't want to be running right now. And for him too, he's like, come on little dude, I'm hungry, just stop. I mean, there's enough to be worried about. I had a really bad night this summer. I was laying in bed and it was like 95 degrees. Remember how I got so hot? At 72 degrees, I started sweating. So at 95, there's just eruptions of sweat. Just pools form in seconds and then cascade down the sides. And then another pool of sweat. I look like a time-lapse film of the earth forming like on the Discovery Channel. Lake Powell was formed when the gorge filled. I'm like laying there just like sweating and I'm all pale. I look like I'm dying in Africa in 1642. Like I came there to bring them Jesus and this is what I got. Anyway, I finally fall asleep. And then in the middle of the night, like 4 in the morning, I get woken up by this. I felt somebody touch me like this, twice, like this. And I woke up and my heart is pounding. And I'm like, there's somebody in here. You ever wake up in the middle of the night and you're terrified for no reason? And you just say to yourself, somebody's in this room. So what do? You lay perfectly still. For some reason, these are the rules in your mind. If I don't move, they can't begin harming me yet. Why would that be the case instead of the opposite of that? Like somebody's above your bed with a knife, like, oh, I wish he would move so I could stab him already. The reason you wake up like this is because when you wake up scared, you wake up stupid. Because only part of your brain has woken up yet. Only your reptilian, stupid body protector part of your brain has just done, but the thing's scary. Something here is scary to me. And then your modern, rational brain wakes up, dude, what is your problem? Somebody here, they're going to hurt me now. Look, it's 2012, we live indoors, there's nothing happening. Just take it. No, I felt they touched me like this and I felt it. Who does that? Who does it? Tell yourself any story with that in it. People, who breaks into an apartment at night to go like this to somebody? Okay, I'm sorry. And as I'm laying there having all these thoughts, I'm looking at a chair that's in my room. It's very dark, but there's like something on the chair. A sweater or a towel, I can't tell what it is. And I'm looking at it. And as I'm looking at it, it moved to another chair. And I saw this. And this guy's like, oh my God, I'm sorry, you were right, please protect me. When this thing moved, I got filled with so much fear that I made a noise that I've never made before. I went, ooh! And I was so disappointed to find out that that's the noise I make when the shit goes down. What a bummer! What is that? And then I start hitting the lamp next to my bed. I'm just hitting it. Because I can't, I'm too scared to work some electronic shit. Fear just takes away your ability to work little dimmer switches. Fear just turns your hand into a paddle, just into just a one-use. Somehow the light went on, and there on the chair was a cat. I don't have a cat. Just a cat. And I went, ah! The cat's like, seriously? And he ran out the window. then he was walking around in the dark, and then he walked on me. And the kid's like, oh shit, I just stepped on you, what an idiot. I wonder if the cat remembers the story still. Do cats remember that shit? Is he later like eating his bone, going like, that dude is weird. Because I'll never forget that story. For me, it was like the worst thing that ever happened to me. Because I've never been that upset in my life. I mean, I've lost relatives. I went through a divorce, and nothing ever made me go, "Ooh!" Yeah, divorce is stressful to go through as a transition. But being divorced is the greatest thing. I've been divorced for 4 years, and it's easily my favorite part of my life. It's really the best part of my life so far. And I'm not saying don't get married, by the way. Look, if you meet somebody, fall in love, and get married, and then get divorced, because that's the best part. The marriage is like a larva stage for true happiness. Because divorce is forever. Like it really is. Marriage is for how long you can hack it. But divorce just gets better, like a piece of oak. It just gets stronger. Nobody ever says, oh, my divorce is falling apart, I can't take it anymore. My ex-wife and I get along better than we ever did. And my kids, they go to her house for half a week, they come to my house for half a week, and the whole family's happier now. I'm a very attentive and patient and good dad because I get to say goodbye to these kids every Wednesday. That is unbelievable. I get to say, I love you, baby, goodbye. Daddy's gonna go upstairs and pour whiskey all over his naked body now. I'm just gonna lay in my own filth until 10 seconds before you come here on Saturday. That's why I'm such a good dad. My kids went away to summer camp. I assume I can't prove they're there. I don't care. I just know I had a month to myself. I had no job and no kids for a month. That's unbelievable. I mean, who does that get to happen to? So I had all this time. I thought, geez, I could do anything I want. I could go anywhere I want. Maybe I'll meet somebody. I could go to Turkey. And just see what is that shit? I always wanted to just go to Turkey and come out of the airport and go, what is this shit? I could meet somebody. I could go to Rome and meet a young woman on a scooter with sweaty arms. I could go to India and meet a mysterious woman with a thing on her face and a thing here. And she'll say, you are very strange to my culture. And I'll say, yes, and you're very strange to me. And then she'll show me some weird thing she does with her legs. And then her father will say, you are not the kind of man with my daughter. And I'll say, but I love her, and all this shit. Or I can just go to Kentucky and fuck some more. But I didn't do any of those things. I just stayed home, I went within in a bad way. I just met a whole bunch of folks in here that I shouldn't have met. I had a real Apocalypse Now hotel room kind of a week. And then one day I decided I gotta do something. I'll just do something stupid I never did before. So I decided I'm gonna smoke some marijuana and I'm gonna go see an IMAX 3D movie. Which, I don't really get high, but I had some pot from the 90s that I saved in an old shoe. I had that old shoe with pot in it, all through my marriage, all the time. We moved to the West Coast, a bunch of trucks going in the house, and just me with that old shoe with pot in it. I really recommend it, because just the 3D IMAX logo before the movie, spinning in my high face, easily beat both my kids' births for like a visceral experience. I mean, those were lovely days, but neither of them made me go, oh shit, holy cow! So I smoked this high in Manhattan. There's no 1970s street corner in New York anymore. There's no barrel on fire, dudes with a jug, getting high, take it back. Hey, you can't see it right on, we gonna get high. And it's not really fun to smoke a joint in front of the Pinkberry or whatever, you know, or the art of shaving. It's not really a scene. So I got high at home, and then I had to walk to the movie theater down Broadway, high as shit. And I could not handle it. I'm walking, there's just people. I'm like, Jesus! I don't know how to be a guy walking down the streets. At one point, I'm dealing with it in the worst way. I'm looking at every person I walk past and going, and then I realized, wait a minute, I have my phone. I realized I had my phone in my pocket, and I was so excited because it was the first time I'd been high since phones. And I realized I could just put the phone in my face, and nobody cares. It's like a cloaking device. Nobody's looking at me now. Because without the phone, you got to be a total guy. You got to make all kind of blinking choices, and you have to really act for yourself. But when you have a phone in your head and you're high, you can talk. You can just walk around. I can't handle any of this. And nobody cares. Without the thing on your face, you can't walk around. This is too much for me. I'm really not handling any of this. You'll get tased or something. I didn't even go to the movie. I just stood in the corner. Ha ha ha! I still use my phone that way. I really recommend it. If you're like wherever, in an airport or in a stressful situation, and you don't want to call anybody, just put your phone on your face and say anything you want. In a crowded room, just, oh God, oh Jesus. Those phones are amazing. They really have given us a lot. They've also taken away a few things. Like the word hello is gone. The word hello was a telephone word. And now personal phones have taken away the word hello. Because nobody says hello on the phone. You know who it is. There's no reason to say hello. You just go, You don't say goodbye either. No one calls out hello or goodbye. You just go, I'm already here. Okay. I didn't know. It used to be you had to say hello. Because when the phone rang, you didn't know who it was. It was just an opaque black thing. And it went brrrr, and you just go, the phone is ringing. It wasn't your phone, you didn't know who it was for. So you just had to say something. That's what hello was. It was just so you didn't just go, it was just whatever. It's just like going, words talking, you turn now. It just was, because it had to be neutral. You couldn't go hi or something, because they might go, everybody's dead, I'm calling to tell you everybody's dead. So you just go, ugh. Those phones have changed a lot of things, you know? Like, everybody brings them to every event now and wants to take pictures and stuff. But it's sad because nobody's remembering anything with their actual brains anymore. Like, I went to my daughter's dance. They had a dance recital at her school. These little kids, you know, I mean, it's 10-year-olds. They're just kind of good. But it's them. You're there for the kids. And every parent has a phone, and they're taping it, and they're literally blocking their view of the actual kid and watching a shitty digital version of the dance on their phone. Like, look at the kid. The HD on the kid is unbelievable. The resolution on your child is way better than in the phone. What are you taping it for? It's not a good show. It's not worth owning. What is the value of this? Dude, I got a bootleg of Caps for Sale. When are you gonna watch it? Nobody watches their kids later. Let me watch this thing I missed the first time. You just put it on your Facebook page. Here, you watch it. And then everybody puts their comment, that's the kid! That's the kid! And guess what? They didn't watch it either. These kids are dancing for no one. Nobody's watching your videos. You need to know that. I'll prove it to you. Next time you post your video on Facebook, like you tape your kids' dance, take 2 seconds of your kids' dance, and then attach like 20 minutes of just your naked asshole. Just go to the bathroom and tape your own anus, opening and closing for 20 minutes. And attach that to 2 seconds of your kid dancing. Everybody will just write, "That's adorable. I think I see a future star."
Посмотрел как.
I don't know, I try not to bring my phone home. When I'm with my kids, I try to leave the phone at home. Because it's too tempting to just tune them out and just look at shit. And I'm starting to realize I don't have that much time left. I want my kids to, I want to do stuff with them, you know, instead of having them, you know, be around my shit life. I want to take them to stuff. I took them to an aquarium, and it was amazing. There's these animals, weird creatures. We're looking at a seal, or I don't know what it was, sea lion, whatever the fuck it was. We're looking at it through the plexiglass at this sea lion, and he's looking right back at us, me and my 2 girls, and he's looking at us, and he's going, really gross in person. Most animals are. You ever go to a farm and you think the sheep are gonna be like little white sheep, like me, but they're all fat and shit colored, and they go, bleh. They're disgusting, really. Well, seals don't go, they go, ugh. I don't know what he's trying to say to us. I'm a slave. Kill me. I'm glad I'm not a seal. Man, I'm glad I'm not a seal in a tank. That is a shit life. That is no fun. They should make that part of, they should tell you that. When these animals are living in pure misery. I don't know, being a person is a pretty good deal. You know, you're around other people. And I like people. People are okay. As long as they're okay. Some people get shitty when they get upset, which is weird. You know, like even in traffic, people they just decide a whole different set of values is okay. I was on the West Side Highway once, and some guy, I don't know, he kinda drifted into my lane. Kinda. And I out loud, said, worthless piece of shit. I mean, what an indictment. For just losing focus for a second. Worthless piece of shit, I said, about a human being. Somebody's son. Worthless piece of shit. One time I was driving, and some kind of pickup truck was being competitive, I decided, you know? And we're kind of both driving like dicks. And then at some point, his window was open, and I yelled, "Hey, fuck you!" How did I make that okay for myself? I really don't know. I mean, if you were in an elevator next to a person, and they, whatever, like leaned against you for a second by accident, would you ever turn to their actual face and go, "Hey, fuck you! You worthless piece of shit"? No! Literally 0 people would ever do that. But put a piece of glass here and one next to him and just, I hope you die, motherfucker. Yeah, I hope you die. Because you made me go like this for half a second. You tested my reflexes and it worked out fine, and I hope you die now. I mean, we would kill each other in traffic if it was okay to do that. I really believe that the law against murder is the #1 thing preventing murder. Most people don't kill each other, but it's because it's a huge bummer to get caught killing people. It's almost as bad as being murdered. It's like the second worst thing is having murder and getting caught. But if murder was legal, or like just a misdemeanor, you know, just the thing where you get something in the mail, oh, they had a camera, shit. If murder was legal, there would be so much murder. Like, murderers murderers would murder a lot more. Regular people would murder a lot of people. And really nice people would murder a few people. But nobody would murder no people. If murder was legal, everything would be different. Children would behave very differently. Because that is mostly who would get murdered. Is children by their parents. If murder was legal, killing your own kids, you just do it. Yeah, I threw Scotty out the window on his birthday. 6 years was enough of that shit. I hated that kid. I feel good about it too. If murder was legal, you'd see kids getting killed everywhere you go. You go to a mall, there'd be like 8 different parents in the mall just... I told you to stop it! You're making me do this! You'd be like stepping over dead kids everywhere. It'd be a new problem. You have to clean up your kids when you kill them because it's gross. It's bad for the environment. If you murder your child in a public place, please use one of the red bags in the dispensers every 3 feet of America. Put your child in the red plastic bag with the logo of a dead kid on it, next to the logo that warns you not to let your alive kid play with a plastic bag because they might suffocate, in which case you could just leave them in the bag. Well, it's been nice talking to you guys. Enjoyed it. First, rather than leaving and then you clap and I come back out like, oh, all right. I'll just save you the trouble. Thank you for coming, and I hope you're all okay. I hope that you this was a fucked up bitch of a hurricane. She can go fuck herself. I played here last year in this room, and I loved it here. The people that run it, this is run by a family, and it's part of your borough is this theater. So I called because I saw, you know what really made me just want to do something for Staten Island was when your guy said, fuck the Red Cross. That was like, he's sitting there, and Chuck Schumer's behind him just going, oh, please stop it. All I have to say is that Red Cross is dog shit forever. He's like, stop it! Don't do this, I'm a senator, Jesus. And I was like, I fucking love the people out there. They're the best. So here's the last thing. By the way, don't murder. I don't believe in it. To be clear, I think murder's wrong. That's how I feel. But I have competing thoughts. They're not what I believe, but they're thoughts that I have. Sometimes I have thoughts that I'm not comfortable with. They don't guide my life, they're not my beliefs, but they're there. I can't help it. I have a brain I can't control all the time. I think this is the same for most people. You have to think like, I have the thing I believe, and then there's this other thing. And I don't believe it or really like it, but it's there. There's the thing, and then there's this. It's become a category in my life. I call it, of course, but maybe. I'll give you an example. Like, of course, children who have nut allergies need to be cared for. We have to segregate their food from nuts very carefully and have their medication on hand everywhere they go. Of course. But maybe, if touching a nut kills you, you're supposed to die. who has that. I'd be devastated if something happened to him. But maybe. If we all just go like this for 1 year, we're done with nut allergies. Of course, the Make-A-Wish Foundation is a wonderful organization. Of course it is! The Make-A-Wish Foundation, they give a kid a beautiful, like a wonderful experience. A kid who has bad luck is gonna die of a childhood disease. Of course that's wonderful. Of course it is. But maybe giving a beautiful memory to a kid who's gonna be dead in a week is a waste of time. Maybe we could find a kid who's living a long and shitty life and let him make a wish. I don't know. Maybe there's a kid out there with 1 leg, 2 dead parents, and he's strong as an ox. He's gonna make 90. Let him go to the Yankee game with Lady Gaga one time. Maybe stop making yourself feel good by cramming good memories of a dead skull. What's the fucking point? Of course, if you're defending your country and you get shot or hurt, this is a terrible tragedy. Of course. Listen, you all clap for the dead nut kid. Alright, you all cheer for the death. So you're in this with me now. You understand? You can't cherry pick that. Those kids did nothing to you. Of course. If you're defending your country, you get shot, it's terrible. But maybe if you pick up a gun and go to another country and you get shot, it's not that weird. Maybe. If you get shot by the dude you were just shooting at, it's a tiny bigger fault. Of course, slavery is the worst thing that ever happened. Of course, slavery is the worst thing that ever happened. Every time it's happened. Black people in America, Jews in Egypt, every single time a whole group of people has been enslaved, nothing good has come of that, just pain and suffering. Of course. But maybe every great and incredible human achievement in history has been done with slavery. Every single thing where you go, how did they build those pyramids? They just threw human death and suffering at them until they were finished. How did we traverse the nation with a railroad so quickly? We just threw Chinese people in caves and blew them up and didn't give a shit about that. How do we have these beautiful little phones with microtechnology where we can send video and movies? Because the factory where they make those, they're jumping off the fucking roof because it's a nightmare in there. Somebody far away is suffering immeasurably, so you can leave a mean comment on YouTube while you're taking a shit.